right, good day everyone. We're hanging out here in the Monaco Windsor. Just got done doing the system in it. And some people asked about how to test their speakers that they have and so on and so forth. And I thought I'd give a little in-depth video on the dash radio upgrade with the subwoofer, and then how to test your speakers to see if they're working. So we'll get started here. Monaco Windsor, as I said. Got that new radio in here. Now pulled out the Sony backup camera and put the new radio in here. So that's why you have this DIN trim ring right here that goes all the way around this to fill actually the void. Now the radio's loaded from the back, so that's why it's like flush right here, as you can see kind of from the side. That would be a flush, just like it is, say, in a Toyota car or all the new modern cars. Now factory radio went here, so we put the pocket in here so you can toss some keys. Got the USB port here in the top corner to be able to plug in and charge your phone if you don't want to use the Bluetooth CarPlay. This piece is a brand new piece of plastic because it was all blown out. So we've redone this in the California Burlwood. It comes from Decorative Plastics Supply. So that's the vendor that I use for that. Then in this particular case, we've got a subwoofer over here on the side. It's a powered sub. Make sure that when you hook up that power to that it's to a house source, because the alternator always charges the coach when driving. And if you're going to be parked for a long time, you don't want your subwoofer running your engine batteries dead while you're parked. So I always like to run it off the house source. This one here's got a base level knob here, so you can actually turn up and down the woofer. But we are here really about testing speakers and figuring out which one's the right and the left if they're not labeled, so on and so forth. So I've got a speaker here. Now this is going to be like Country Coach used towards the end and some of the manufacturers, where it's a ceiling mount speaker for a house. So it would naturally go in like this. And then as you tighten these screws, it sandwiches down on either the sheetrock or, in a motorhome case, the plywood ceiling and the vinyl. A lot of people ask if you can replace just this ring. Well, no, because it's actually all of the speaker. The reason why this ring cracks off is, one, it gets dry. Two, don't use a screw gun to tighten these up at the very end and suck them so tight, because then it wants to break this flange off. But let's get to the part where we're testing the speaker. So we've got the positive and negative wires hooked up here to the back of the speaker. We've got a C battery here. Now a C, a D, or a AA or AAA can work, because they're all 1.5 volts. I try not to use 9-volt batteries because you don't want to torch the tweeter that's in there, because this is DC voltage and speaker is AC, has a wave. So what we'll do is I'll kind of hold this with my legs, but as I hook this to it, I'm going to hook it up backwards first. So I have got the negative against the positive, and then the positive against the negative, so it's backwards. So as you'll see, the speaker will actually suck inward, indicating it's backwards. If you have the positive to the positive and everything's correct, your speaker will actually pop outwards. Now that's very critical when it comes to bass response. If you have two 15-inch subwoofers in one speaker box and one's wired correct and the other one's not correct, you won't hear the bass, because one will be going out while the other is going in. So that's why it's kind of critical even in the ceiling speaker applications. As you see here, we've got the Rockford Fosgate surface mounts. Now, we didn't take the time to paint those because it was just a budget issue and so on and so forth. So you end up with a black surface mount speaker. That's like the factory. After time, this vinyl will relieve once it gets warm and whatnot. And so that'll look much more natural. And if you wanted to, you can just pop these ceiling speakers down and shoot them with some SEM vinyl paint, color match, and then that would match the color there also. One thing also is I shove house insulation in on the sides to kind of create a little more of an enclosure and to keep debris from ending up on the backs of the speakers when I do that. So one thing up there on the ceilings I kind of like to do now, Country Coach used a styrofoam ceiling, so it's a little bit different, but in the Monaco with the wood trusses, that's why I put that styrofoam up there. So, all right, I think that pretty much sums it up. So that's how you test your speakers. And that's going to work in home theater also. You just simply hook the battery up. If you got the positive correct And the negative trick, the speaker will actually pop outward. This whole cone, you'll see it move out. And then if you have it backwards, it's going to suck in. There's that new dash radio install. It's got the new Voyager camera on the back. Do some conversions on there to use the existing camera cable running to the back. As you see here, I've got this turn of accessory, so if I hit cam, there's that rear view there. And then if I hit cam again, it takes it back to the regular head unit. So that is Sirius ready, so on and so forth, all that good stuff. And as you can see, we got Bluetooth with the CarPlay action going in right there. Hit that, we can go over, we can even hit phone and start to enter phone numbers and so on and so forth. So, all right, everyone, so that's the stuff inside of this coach. Let's go down to the stereo store. I just want to show you a couple different radios compared to that double din and the new tablet style radios. And then we'll show you some of those Rockford Fosgate style speakers. And I've got a special thing that I'm picking up. Not a lot of guys are going to be about this because they're not audiophiles or car stereo guys. But I got one of, actually I ordered two. So I got 2 of 5,000 limited production audio control epicenters. So let's run out of the stereo store. We'll go pick those up and we'll get a closer on this video. But that's the stuff in the coach. Now let's go talk about mounting in different sizes and amplifiers and powered subwoofers and so on and so forth. Let's get at it. All right, hey, we made it down to the stereo store. It's kind of like beating a wet horse, but I just want to go over it again. Here's that double din, and here's those new floating style tablets, as we want to call them. We've got another one over here, and then another one over here, the Sony, and then the Pioneer, and then another Pioneer here. Now, some of these are double din from the back, but like this Pioneer is a single din. So this is a double din hole, and the Pioneer uses half of that. The Kenwood does use the larger hole, so some applications you need that. Now, that one woofer box was powered. You don't have to go with that. You could even go with like a prefabricated box and then add in an amp. Now, like on my coach, I've got an amp like this running my ceiling speakers, and then I've got a large Rockford like this mono block that's running my sub. We'll do a video later this week. We're going to build a brand new 15-inch enclosure to go under my couch. And we're going to do my new epicenter. Limited, I bought two of 5,000 epicenters. So I'm really stoked about that. So watch for a stereo video in my own motorhome coming up. But I just wanted to touch those bases. So hey everybody, we made it down here at the stereo store. Now we're going to go back into town, get some other things done. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and hitting those likes. Throw some comments below if you like these tech videos. Hey, and everybody, just keep on board, and we're going to have a good old time for these rides and get you more coaches too. Thanks a lot. Till next time. Bye-bye.